Music Scene Investigation on the air. Glad you're with us, everybody. A very happy week after the Super Bowl to you. And, of course, the Ravens won that. We knew they would. I think a lot of people knew they would. I didn't know they would, but I'm glad they did, sort of, kind of, maybe. Anyway, we're glad to have you with us on Music Scene Investigation, where we'll take and put 3 new songs in front of our panelists this week to find out how they fare. And before we do that, we've got to meet our panelists. And I want to introduce to you, first of all, from London, England, Mr. Ian Husbands. Ian, how are you today, sir? Welcome back.
It's snowing.
I've heard rumors that you guys might be having some snow.
Yeah, America's superstorm's got nothing on the blizzard we got here.
How much snow do you have on the ground right now?
Can't see. But it's snowing lots from the sky.
I know you're not on the ground floor of your building, so it's not up to your windows yet.
Not yet. I'm banking on that in the morning because that means I have to go to work.
Well, good luck on that.
Fantastic.
So tell us a little bit about the attire you're wearing today.
I've got my horse T-shirt on again because, just to celebrate the fact that people like Findus, who are one of the frozen food manufacturers over here in the UK, have just discovered that their beef lasagna contains 100% horse.
That's what gives it that sweet taste.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mare, really. I had a nagging suspicion it would get worse.
Well, don't have a long face about it there, Ian.
I won't. All these naysayers about horse meat, it's actually quite good for you.
Oh, wow. Okay, enough puns on horses. Anyway, let's get down to some statistics from last week's broadcast. I know you have the Be a Witness statistics set in front of you.
I do, and I'd like to announce that our audience pretty much agreed with us. Song 1, which was Slide by 13 Shadows, was voted Best Songwriting with 67% of the votes, Best Mix and Production with 67% of the votes, and Best Performance with 100% of the votes.
So landslide.
Landslide.
They should probably change the name of the tune to Landslide.
Or the name of the band.
13 Shadows, I think, is a brilliant name for a band.
Just saying.
All right. It's all good. Maybe they'll be in contact with you about changing the name of something.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Whatever it is, I want 10%.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. Thanks, Ian. Appreciate your being here. And in New York City, we have a recording engineer extraordinaire, Mr. Tom Chianti. Tom, how are you today, sir?
Good afternoon, Rich. I am fine, thank you. We had about a foot of snow or so in my area, where further east and north it went up to about 30 inches.
Now, I heard that there was one location that was reported on that had about 40 inches on the ground.
That's quite a possibility because when it did come down, it was pretty heavy.
Yeah. Well, you didn't have any issues there. You were able to get out and about and get down to the corner store and get bread and milk.
I mean, this is in New York. You deal with it.
Oh, there you go. I mean, a lot of the rest of the country could learn something from New York then.
Sure, strap 2 guns on and shush.
Didn't think you're allowed to do that anymore.
As long as you've got some sort of license, a fishing license, who knows?
Well, Tom, it's great to have you with us, and I'm glad everything's fine where you're at. Everybody's safe and sound there. That's good to hear.
Well, thank you, Rich. Are you safe and sound?
I am safe and sound out here in the middle of corn country, USA. Nothing going on here. Everything is the way I left it, and that's the way it should be. Our guest panelist used to be from corn country, but he has moved on to corn country, I guess, and
east.
Yeah, eastern corn country, I guess. I'm in central corn country. He's in eastern corn country. We'd like to welcome back Mr. Ken Scott, that voice guy. Ken, welcome back.
Oh, you mean me?
Yeah, I mean you.
Oh, hey, thanks for having me back. It's really It's really all your pleasure. It's really good to be back.
Now, I know you normally go by the name Squatch, but, we have to use your given name.
Which is?
Ken Scott.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's right. I thought there was something else coming. I wasn't quite sure.
Oh,
Sascott.
no.
That's it, Sascott. Not Sasquatch, Sascott.
Now, for those people who don't know, you're that voice guy, the guy that people will hear and never see on television, the radio, all sorts of different product advertisements, programs, and things like that.
Right. Pretty much any voice that you hear is me. Because, if you're asking yourself, who is that voice guy? Well, I am that voice guy.
And
the fact is, at the time I was looking around for a name for my website, it was the only thing available. So that's why I'm that voice guy. I wanted the voice, of course, but it was taken. Did the voice guy or the voice god or whatever, but that voice guy was all that was available. So I live with it. It's fine.
And it worked out very well. I mean, because of that voice guy and what you do and what you've been doing for so long, you've gotten gigs, gotten voice jobs with Animal Planet, a number of different television shows and commercials, and actually have a movie that you've been working on.
You could say that. I'm actually a principal in a movie with... I think we did this last time, and I didn't write down who the actors are that are famous in it. I'm not a famous actor, at least not yet. But the people that are in the movie, you would certainly know. James Franco being the lead, and my character is basically the schizophrenic voice in his head. It has Catherine Keener in it. It has David Strathairn in it, and one other guy whose name escapes me. That I'll think of later. But it's got a really nice cast, and hopefully it'll do well. And I did want to mention that the film is actually finally debuting this week at the Berlin Film Festival, which has a name that I'm not quite sure what it is.
That's okay. I don't speak German anyway.
Das Film Festival.
Nine.
Das Film Festival.
Das Film Festival.
So,
I'm sure that's...
So you've got that going on for you. You got the movie. We still have Finding Bigfoot going on. This is how many seasons is Finding Bigfoot at this moment? It was third season?
We're having a tough time figuring that out ourselves here. My wife does the invoicing for the show, and they will name the shows by an episode number. And of course, the first year the episodes were like 101, 102, and on. And then the second season came around, it was 201, 203, like that. And so we figured we knew how they were going to do it. Well, we're like at 229, 230. So we know we're not still in the second season. We're pretty sure we're not. They just have stuck with the twos now on the episode numbers. So I have no idea.
Yeah, don't they normally take and run like 13 episodes a season? So is that the normal production schedule for a show like this?
Normal? Sure. Yeah, we'll go with that. Yeah. But no, there's nothing normal about anything going on in New York or Hollywood anymore.
Now, for people who don't know, Ken and I used to work together back in your days of radio, Ken, when you were here in Central Illinois, working with some of the biggest talents in country music at WDZQ.
Yes. Yeah, back in the days when I had pretty much lost all hope. Yeah, I remember those days. Yeah.
No, you got to admit, though, I think that giving credit where credit's due, the radio station was actually a pretty good experience, wouldn't you say?
Oh, no, absolutely. Yeah, I make jokes about it, but it was tremendous fun. The fact is, if the money hadn't have been so much better in Chicago, I really did have a good time in Decatur. I wouldn't have mind staying there. Well, I really did. I enjoyed it every day. Except, the smell was something, but once you get past the smell, the radio station gig was a lot of fun. It really was.
And honest to goodness, folks, Ken is right about the smell. If you've never been to Decatur, Illinois, you won't know what he's talking about. But in Decatur, there's A.E. Staley's, and they process soybeans.
Yep.
And the smell is like potato pancakes.
Yeah, I wish I had thought about that while I was there. Okay.
Is it more like the latrines of a vegetarian army?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, yeah. Um, so there were a few other smells mixed in there too, if I remember correctly, Rich, but I don't remember what they were.
Oh, that was the homeless guy who walked down the center of the mall where the station was, I think, for the most part.
Yeah, I remember the mall indicator. We had one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we did have them all, didn't we?
And of
Yeah.
course, you know that the radio station itself is no longer where it used to be. That whole block has been leveled.
Yeah, I understand. I don't know if this is right or not, but somebody told me it was the Cloverfield monster took it down. Is that right?
I think it was either that or they were redoing a new remake of Godzilla.
Okay, well, whichever. One of them needs to get the credit. I'm not sure who, but yeah, it's really sad. I have a lot of dreams about that place, nightmares. But and I'll never get to see it again. Only in my mind now. It's really kind of sad.
Yeah, I kind of wish we'd have taken some pictures or video back then of it.
Actually, the last time I visited there, which was probably 5 or 6 years ago, I did take some pictures. I'll have to send them to you.
Yeah, that would be great. I'd love to see them. I mean, I rarely get up to Decatur, Illinois anymore, but it'd be great to see some of the sites, the old sites we used to run around in, I guess, back in the day.
I'll just start a website too. I mean, if you think about it, who wouldn't want to see random photographs of shopping malls from Decatur, Illinois? I mean, it's as exciting as you can imagine.
That's true. There is a lot to be said for that, and you might get corporate backing on that one.
Could be, yeah, could be. But yeah, I'll send those to you, and I'll just post them up on Facebook and send them out to everybody so that everybody can, just look at them and be in awe.
And
don't forget the photograph of Rich drunk in the pub, wrapped in cellophane. He tells me it actually happened.
That's some different person would have that. It's not Ken doesn't have that video, and we won't even go into who does. It's not coming out of me. But now, for those who don't know, when Ken was in radio for a long time and had the opportunity to perform functions as program director and music director at a number of locations. And in the past, we've talked about this with you, Ken, about when you get music in to the radio station from local bands. How do you handle those kinds of things, and what do you recommend in the way of advice for bands today who are wanting to get heard by their local radio stations?
Well, yeah, you're right. We've talked about it a few times before, but to those who haven't who haven't heard me talk about it before, I'll just say again, it's like anything. It's like a lot of different things. You've just got to really be tenacious about it. You've got to send of course, these days, what is it? I guess people are sending DVDs or MP3s, I imagine, just over the email, if you've got an email address for the music director or the program director or both. In the old days, you'd be dropping off cassette tape in my day.
Right.
Of course, that's a little different now. But yeah, so what I imagine, no, I don't imagine. I've talked to some of my contemporary programming friends who are still who are still enjoying the life of being a music director, program director in radio. I kid, it's a great life. And that's what they do. They still do the same thing that I did, just in a different way. So they will take the CDs that are dropped off or mailed to them, and they'll also listen to the MP3s that come to them in their inbox, and they'll do like anybody would. You've only got so many hours in the day, and you get so many demos dropped off to you. They're going to listen to the first minute or so of a song, sometimes less. And so it's important that whatever you send the music directors needs to wow them pretty quickly. I mean, if you've got a great song that, it's a nice ballad, and that may not be the one you want to send first. I mean, you want to send something that's really going to catch their attention and pretty quickly, because they get bored quick and they're moving on to the next thing. So that's one thing to keep in mind. And again, develop a relationship. It's radio. These guys are meeting people all the time. And I have yet to meet a radio guy that would turn down a free meal. So, call these guys and offer to take them out. I mean, that's not quid pro quo, is it? No, wait a minute. No, that would be, what's the term?
The payola?
Payola. That would be payola still? Do they still have that? Is that still an issue?
I think for terrestrial radio stations it is. I'm not so sure about online stations though.
Okay, online stations, okay, but I mean, buying somebody a hamburger. I mean, come on, who's gonna care about that? I don't know, but just basically just to develop a relationship with the music directors and the program directors, become their friends. It's not as hard as you think. They're people too. Matter of fact, radio people need friends more than most people do.
There you go. That's true. That's true. We all crave friendship in that fashion. I agree with you.
Be their friend. They'll play your song.
There you go.
And it's not quite that simple, but yeah, just definitely do not give up. Just don't give up.
That's great advice. Great advice, and hopefully we'll find some new talent here today that can heed some of that advice and maybe use MSI as a stepping stone when they submit their music out to radio stations that they have in their neighborhoods or whatever the fact may be. So that being said, gentlemen, we got 3 songs we're going to listen to today. If you're ready, and I know you are, let's go ahead and give a listen to track number 1 on today's MSI. Here it is, everyone. Enjoy it. This is track number 1 on today's MSI. Enjoy.
I get in the mood for smoked cheese when I think about what you'd say. Please tell me how I look in my thong panties and high heels. I'll never know what I did to cause you to walk away. I think about you just almost every day. I'll do what I gotta do to get you back, including handstands, flip-flops, and some friggin' cartwheels. Over to the other side. I wrote this song, and I don't understand why she was so dissatisfied. I say, please won't you come back to me? She decided to stay the other way. She decided she was happy anyway. I'll do what I gotta do to get you back, including handstands, flip-flops, and some friggin' cartwheels. Doing cartwheels, and that's that she said no, you're not my type.
No
sorry to you that I must moan about the gal that from me to another gal she has flown.
That is song number 1 on today's MSI. I want to take it over to Ian, find out what he thought first. Ian, what do you think of song number 1 today?
Where to start? I mean, this has got some good qualities going for it, but overall, it needs a lot of work, I think. I mean, the good qualities are it's got a good groove. I do like the sort of bass groove they've got going on there. The bass performance and the key performance were really, really good. That really nice Hammond sound, good groove on the bass. But the rest of it, especially from a mix point of view, wasn't working for me. The lead guitars seemed out of tune. The rhythm guitar seemed sloppy. The vocal performance... The vocals were sharp on an EQ. They had a really horrible high-end EQ in there somewhere that needs to be located and eradicated because it was making them very edgy and not really sticking them out in the mix, just making them sound nasty, to be honest. And I think this was a song that was trying to be clever, was trying to be witty, was trying to be quirky, but without being able to make out the lyrics that the singer's singing, it kind of loses its point. It just becomes a good groove with a good keyboard part over it and everything else not so great. I found the EQ of a lot of the instrumentation really sharp and nasty. And there was a lead organ part that came in about 2/3 of the way through, I think, which was just horrible to the ears. It was really hard to listen to. I found the guitars just weren't there. They had no presence at all. Everything seemed too loud at times. You know, there wasn't a consistently everything was loud, but everything in parts sounded just on top of each other. No real space, just loud and a wall of sound where it needs that space locating. The keyboards were trumping all over the vocals in places, which, you know, really, with, as I said, track like this, trying to be quirky, trying to be clever, you need to be able to hear things, especially the lyrical quality that goes with it. For me, this really is a good bass groove with a really good Hammond part over it. The rest needs a lot of attention.
All right, Ian, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Mr. Tom Chianti, your thoughts on track number 1?
Well, imagine a dartboard, if you will, and 10 darts. And you throw all 10 darts and try to mix it. They tried to be too clever with the production. I couldn't enjoy the groove, as Ian said. It may have started as a good idea, but I think especially the one thing I hate more than Ian hates the fade out is a stereo kick drum.
I thought you were going to say the one thing I hate more than Ian
is a stereo kick drum. And at twice in the song, the sampled guitar came in on the left side. I thought for a second you were accidentally feeding me another song. It sounds like there's 2 songs playing at the same time. The levels are all over the place. I really hate to be this critical, but they must be made aware that they've missed the mark on many, many levels.
Yeah.
Vocals too low, mix too scattered, sounds coming in and out that make no sense. I did like the background vocals. But the lead vocal was EQ'd, overcompressed, too low. The music, no balance, no rhyme, no reason. I just think they really have to take this back to formula and rethink exactly what they're trying to express. Because right now, like I said, it's like you just take a handful of darts and just throw it at a board, and whatever lands, lands.
All right. I appreciate that, Tom. Thank you very much. That voice guy, Mr. Ken Scott. Ken, what do you think of track number 1?
Sounded a lot to me like it could have been the missing track, one of the missing tracks from Rocky Horror Picture Show. I thought it was fun, happy, gay. I think all the words were used in the song. Very psychedelic-ish, not terribly mainstream. One of the songs that you could really appreciate when you're sitting at home alone, partaking or something.
With a gun to your head.
Yeah. But, these guys gave you all the technical stuff. I just, I enjoyed it. I mean, I made myself enjoy it. If that makes sense. And then, it's not something that I would expect to hear on the radio, probably. Not unless it's a college radio station. But yeah, it was okay.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Ken. I appreciate that. All right. Let me introduce the track to everybody. The name of that track is called Cartwheels from a group called Abbey Road. We appreciate their sending that into Music Scene Investigation.
Certainly wasn't mixed there, was it?
Pardon me, Ian?
Certainly wasn't mixed there, was it?
No, I don't think so. But if you're an indie music artist and want to have your music in front of our panel, all you have to do is go to musicsceneinvestigation.com and submit a song. You can find it right there at the top of the page. It's very easy to do, and we'll get it in front of our panel. Each week, we select 3 tracks randomly that are placed in front of our panel. So if you don't hear yours right away, now you know why. All right, gentlemen, we have 2 more songs to listen to. I want to go straight into song number 2. I certainly hope you're ready for it because it's coming out next. Here it is, song number 2 on today's Music Scene Investigation, everyone. Enjoy it.
World know I mean ill. Candy stone my heel. Pull my whip, my grill. Steering wheel in my rear. I ball out with no gals. Fam elevate cloud. I'm trying to knock my team, bruh. Where's my foul? Yeah, me got all I want. Rash me like blue Kool-Aid. Me sip on my lawn. Yeah, me gon' spin the world. Whole world know how me live. Candy stone my heel. Pull my whip, my grill. Steering wheel in my rear. I ball out with no gals. Fam elevate cloud. I'm trying to knock my team, bruh. Where's my foul? Yeah, me got all I want. Crash me like blue Kool-Aid. Me sip on my lawn. Yeah, me gon' spin the world. And if I got some bitch left over, spin it on my girl. Roll your switch up. We got anything like confident strawberry dreams in a vending machine. Zoink, hold up, G. She match my team. You know why? Cause I got them G from daddy. To the team, I cut them all, not a line, and then I'm excited. Back pocket, they smoke it. My quad heat, narcotics. Me hit the bathroom anytime, I carry around my own patty. Ready? Hit the bathroom anytime, I carry around my own patty. Roll to me, can't roll, I done fell in love, me darling. I'm in love. Pop petty to my clone, G Galley. Jay hit me up, say she stuck at the airport in this flight. Who ride me some 4 wheels, so we screwed up my bike. No shame. Confidence, we're gon' make J's on the vegan last name. For serious, yeah. Jay Smiley would drive by, get a phone call, and steer. Hot off on them pigs, niggas start to pyramid. Whole world know how me live. Candy stone my heel. Pull my whip, my grill. Steer steering wheel of my real. I ball out but no gals. Fam elevate cloud. I'm trying to knock my team, bruh. Where's my file? Yeah, me got all I want. Me got all I want. Grass smell like blue Kool-Aid. Me sip on my lawn. Yeah, me gon' spin the world. Me gon' spin the world. And if I got some each left forward speed on my girl stage, me was on the way focus, but blowing. Spill hot chocolate on me, left me bone, but kept going on. CJ had a couple nail cans for the cow. Then she wipe me down without me even asking. Chick, you way legit. Then me kept on sailing. Took over the seat, brought the alphabet, no telling. Finally pulled up to the stage like we cool it on. They say that guy, Jade ain't pregnant, we stew it on. Those snow broke Oreos in my backyard. Cows in my fridge, fertilizer for my backyard. Me 2 and John 3 had a movie night 16. Seen Cloud King, bro, took one for the team and changed the whole scene. Me know some trap boy with a trap crib, that fruit pad with a blood down. Book a ad, they done flipped the whole globe on. Whole world know how me feel. Candy stone my heel. Pour my whip, my crib. Steering wheel of my real. I ball out but no gals. Fam elevate cloud. I'm trying to knock my team, bruh. Where's my file? Yeah, me got all I want. Me got all I want. Grass smell like blue Kool-Aid. Me sip on my lawn. Yeah, me gon' spin the world. Me gon' spin the world. And if I got some each left forward, spin it on my girl. Yeah. Shame in me, gang. Confidence, we're gon' make change on the bigger last name. For serious. Speak out, stay out, no lie. Look.
And there it is, track number 2 on today's MSI. And let's go to Tom first, find out what he thought this time around. Tom, what are your thoughts on this particular track?
It's an interesting approach to rap. Instead of the shouting as loud as you can, come in and understate it. I think it could use with a little bit more production. It's lyrically, you can hear the lyrics. They are very rhythmically presented. I like the little hooks here and there. The kick was overcompressed, overdriven, and distorted in my ears. I think they've got something. I think it needs a little bit more work, a little more focus, and a little more production. It's like I said, it's an understated approach to rap, which I kind of like. But I think they need to fill it up a little bit more.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, Tom. Thank you very much. Mr. Ken Scott, that voice guy. What do you think, track number 2?
Well, Bruh, I thought it was an interesting song as well. Bruh. What is Bruh? Anybody have any idea?
No clue.
Okay.
That's 2 bras run over in the road.
Okay.
Brother from another mother.
It actually, even though we don't know for sure what it is, it was an interesting. I enjoyed hearing it every time he would come up with the song, so I was looking forward to that. But the language, I mean, I didn't understand a word of it, but that doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it. I don't understand much of anything I hear these days. I think that would probably require Jay-Z to come in and kind of walk me through critiquing it. So I may not be the best judge of a song like this. Was that all MIDI music? I mean, was there any real instruments in that? Can you guys?
No.
Can you tell? No. Okay. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's the age. We can all get away with our little laptops and a microphone and make a gazillion dollars. But I don't know. I guess I like real instruments. But I'm gonna say that I liked it because of the brubra. So I give it a thumbs up for brubra.
All right. Well, that's fair enough, Ken. I appreciate that. And Ian, track number 2 to you.
Well, I've just been Googling to see if there's some kind of national union for beat makers that's called a national strike or something, because we had a hip-hop style track on last week that had no beats, and this had no beats. What's happened? When I was listening to sort of a bit more hip-hop and rap and stuff like that, it was all about the beats. Now they just seem to have someone stolen them. No beats for you. Just do it with a music box and see how you get on. There is something here, but as Tom says, it needs to be filled up. There's so much space here that it's not nice. And what is filling that space? The only things I really did like were the music box and the vocals, which is pretty much most of the track, let's face it. But, I liked the bass sound. I liked the bass response. There's that typical 808 sound in there on the kick drum. But the flute sound, the string sound, they sounded straight out of the box. No attention's been given to them. Throw them in, they sound MIDI, and very, very false. The voice, I'm without sounding stereotypical, I've got a vision of something more like a Mexican sort of rapper. So was there a bit of Spanish being thrown in there in places?
I thought it was French.
French? You reckon French? Okay.
It was
I thought it was
Italian.
Spanish. Italian.
Yeah. No,
There's a European language in there somewhere that wasn't just English, and I kind of liked that. The vocal arrangement that was there, the sort of mix between the singing style, the rapping style, which wasn't typical. I did feel I would like to hear more of that. With this sort of music, you want that vocal to be a bit more up front. I found there was too much reverb on it. It needs to be drier, so the words are actually a bit more solid in there, and you can understand them. I think the style of singing, rapping, was making the vocals a little less understandable as well. So, maybe a bit of work on diction too. But this had no hook for me. Not even the bro. There was one there that just wasn't strong enough, and it didn't grab me and make me want to sing along or rap along in the next chorus. So, yeah, I think as Tom says, they've got something. I just don't think it's this song. I think they need to write a song that's got a bit more of a drive to it, a bit more of a hook to it. But the style, it's coming.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, Ian. Thank you very much. The name of that particular track is called Spin the World. It's by a group called SGU. We appreciate their sending that to Music Scene Investigation as well. And just a reminder for everybody, if you're watching today, that's smart. If you're watching tomorrow, that means you got it on the recorded version or the podcast. Now, if you happen to want to see it live, when it takes place, join us at musicsceneinvestigation.com/live. Sundays at 4 p.m. Eastern. That's when we do this thing live, and we do it every week. Look forward to having you in the audience with us. Now, one more song, guys. Are you ready?
I'd like to make a quick announcement, actually, while we're on the subject of the broadcast.
Go right ahead, Ian.
Little bit of news. Up until very recently, as in last week, I think, we were posting only a highlight of the show, of the Song of the Week, on our YouTube channel. But we've had a change of plan on that, and now we're actually putting the whole episode up every week on YouTube. So if you don't want to catch us on the MSI website or through iTunes or many other routes, you can check us out on YouTube as well, the whole episode each week, and that's at MSI Weekly.
Absolutely true, and I appreciate you reminding everybody of that. Now, let's head to our third song of the day, gentlemen. Track number 3 on today's Music Scene Investigation. Enjoy it, everyone, and we'll be back after this. There you have song number 3 on today's Music Scene Investigation. We're going to go straight over to Mr. Ken Scott to find out what he thought. First, Ken?
Well, it was a real drum set, so I like that. Real instruments are good. These guys will probably disagree with me. I'm paranoid this way. I always assume they're going to disagree with me, so I go ahead and put the disclaimer out there first, just in case I'm right.
I don't agree.
They may not agree with me, but I didn't care for the mix too much. I thought the music was too loud overall, maybe just a little bit. But I thought that the vocals were a little bit lost in there. Of course, it just could be my old hearing, but I couldn't really make out what the vocals were saying at all. For me, the song overall, it didn't knock me into outer space. It was somewhere between and meh, closer to meh. And that's all I've got to say about that.
All right. Well, that's straightforward. I appreciate that, Ken. Thank you very much. Let's find out what Ian thought. Ian, your thoughts on track number 3. You said you didn't agree with Ken. Do you change your mind?
I don't agree. I didn't agree that I was going to disagree with him. That's what I was disagreeing with.
Oh, okay.
That's confusing.
Anyway, I think the day this was mixed, the guitarist and the vocalist had a fight. Because this was all guitar. Don't get me wrong, the bass and the drums were there, but this was all guitar. It was a wall of guitars, and the vocalist had just been knocked back to oblivion with too much reverb. There was a lot of layering going on, which didn't sound too tight in performance with each other. And the guitars were just trampling all over it, really. And they sounded a bit discordant. They sounded a bit sloppy in places. The distortion overdrive was far too full on. It needed to be a sort of more indie sound rather than that full on wall of sound metal sort of grind. The lead guitar was very much in the high mids and a bit harsh on the ears, and the effects were overcooked. The echo, the verb, is it a flange or something in there as well, I think. I couldn't hear the lyrics at all. What I could hear of the melody and the backing vocals, I think there was something going on there which was actually quite nice, but it was all obliterated by the guitars. It could be quite a current sound if you change that guitar sound and get them guitars sitting in the mix and bring those vocals up so they can be heard. I think there is something that's a bit current going on there, which with a bit of work could actually do something. But the state it's in at the moment, it's not going to get played many places. The drums were okay; they held the groove, but I found the bass very simple, and that didn't really do much. I mean, that really needs to pin down that groove a bit more. But at the end of the day, you kind of had to keep the bass simple, really, because the guitars were taking up all the space and leaving not a lot of work for that bass to do. Needs a lot of work. And it's a shame about that vocal being so buried because, I think as the songs go this week, if the mix on this had been a lot better, this would have been Song of the Week on everyone. But the way the mix is, it's probably not going to happen.
All right, Ian, I thank you very much for your thoughts on that. Mr. Tom Chianti, track number 3, over to you.
Well, I actually could peel back the many layers of reverb, echo, guitar, and whatever, and I did manage to hear the vocals. Very pitchy, very weak performance. Too much reverb. I mean, sounded like a water faucet just flowing constantly. Yeah. I agree with Ian on the guitar sound and the volume of it. The drum sound was okay, but he missed a couple of fills. The bass, I was just so distracted by that watery wall of reverb that, as far as I'm concerned, it wasn't there, but I know it was. It's a really, really bad mix. I think if they take Ian's advice and get a better singer and absolutely find somebody who knows how to mix, there may be something there.
Just to
But
clarify, I never said get a better singer. That's your words.
Yeah, that's because I was able to hear the pitchiness and the tentative expressions and whatever. The singer was very unsure of himself, and I couldn't hear too many backgrounds, or what I did hear again was just swimming in reverb. Yeah, I'm very hard on vocalists, and I will have no problem come right out and calling something pitchy when it is. And when I hear it, I'll say it, and hopefully the singer will learn that he's got to mean what he sings and catch the note at the beginning all the way through to the end and stay with it. It's just a shame that guitar sound and the reverb is way too much, because it obliterates any hope of understanding what the song's about and makes it, I knew 30 seconds in what it was going to sound like, and I was upset. Yeah. Nothing pisses me off more than a bad mix.
All right, Tom, I appreciate your thoughts on that. Thank you very much. The name of that track for everyone, it is called Speechless by Sister Midnight. So Sister Midnight was Speechless. Thanks for sending that track into Music Scene Investigation. All right, gentlemen, the task that I know is going to be a difficult one this week, selecting a song of the week. I leave it to you.
Well, first of all, I was too paranoid. You guys did agree with me on the mix. Sorry about that. So for me, this is a choice between the missing track from Rocky Horror Picture Show, Bra Bra, and Meh.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Sounds like you got a fourth song there.
Do we? I don't know. This is enough for me, guys. Can I hold my vote for next time I'm on the show?
I'll tell you what, you can hold it and see what Ian or Tom says first.
Yeah, okay.
I'm very
all right. Well,
interested
let me jump in and say I'm going to hold mine until Tom decided what he thinks.
Oh, Ian, both of you guys, cowards and explicative. I mean, only because it's the least offensive. I have no problem picking number 2.
All right, so there you have it. That's 1 for 2. What about you, Ken, and you, Ian?
Well, let's see. Number 2, Bruh Bruh. I mean, that's all I remember about it, which I really like. I'm going to be saying that for days now, even if I don't remember the tune. I'm going to call everybody Bruh Bruh and hope that's an okay thing to do. I can't vote for Meh. And the Rocky Horror Picture Show missing track, I don't know. It was fun and happy and gay, but I may have to agree with Tom.
RuPaul.
What?
So's RuPaul.
Oh, well. Of course, if I go with the Bruh Bruh, I'm also going with the only song that didn't have any real instruments in it. But boy, I don't know.
Ian?
Ian? Ian? Oh, wrong way.
Well, I think, quite seriously, I'm going to put Ken out his misery, and I'm going to go with Tom on this. I think from a performance point of view on that vocal, an arrangement point of view on the vocals, there was some good stuff going on. I like the music box. It does need some work, but that can be done and should be done. So just more as an encouragement than a final Song of the Week winner, To encourage number 2 to do that, I'm going to go with number 2.
I'm ready to place my vote now.
Okay.
I'm thinking I'll probably go with number 2. Yeah, Brah. That's the more I think about it. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. I don't care what these guys think. That's the one I'm going with.
All right. Well, that's good that you're standing up for yourself, Ken, and making your thoughts known.
Yeah, well, it's, I'm a man. What are you going to do?
Absolutely. I appreciate it, everybody. That's a unanimous decision being made by our panelists this week. It's song number 2 called Spin the World by SGU right here on Music Scene Investigation. Ken, I got to tell you, it's always a barrel of fun when we have you on with us, and I really appreciate you being here once again. I'm looking forward to having you back on soon.
Well, sure. Yeah, I would love to be on. And yeah, I mean, I'm still waiting on the check for the first appearance. That's okay, that's fine. I'll
in the post.
Back.
Wait. You didn't get the check for the first appearance? I sent that. I swear I did. It was to your offshore account in the Caymans.
Oh, that explains everything. I don't have an offshore account in the Caymans. Okay, we'll work that out later.
It's in another tax haven.
That's right. Yeah, no, but honestly, it's always a blast for me as well. It's raining out here today, and this show is just a big old blast of sunshine.
Now,
thank you.
Everybody can find you over at thattechguy.com. So if they're in need or looking for a great voice for anything, tell them how to get in contact with you once they get to your site.
Well, and actually, the site would be thatvoiceguy.com.
Oh, that's
okay.
Voice Guy. I'm sorry.
Probably appreciates the shout out.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. When you get to my site, be sure you write in there all the great things about the website, how awesome it is, and that's just to ensure that I'll actually read your email and get back to you. And just send me a note and tell me what you think. Again, unless it's something I won't want to hear, and then and send me a hamburger.
A hamburger it is. There you go. Well, we can definitely do that. All right. Thanks to you again, Ken, for being with us. Tom, Ian, thanks to you as well. I want to thank everybody out in the audience as well. So we certainly hope you'll join us again next week right here on Music Scene Investigation. Everybody have a great time. We're going to play out with Spin the World right here on MSI. Enjoy it, everyone. Thanks for being with us again.
Bye.
Bye.
World know I be real. Candy stone my heel. Pull my whip, my grill. Steering wheel in my rear. I ball out with no gals. Fam elevate cloud. I'm trying to knock my team, bruh. Where's my foul? Yeah, me got all I want. Rash me like blue Kool-Aid. Me sip on my lawn. Yeah, me gon' spin the world. Whole world know how me live. Candy stone my heel. Pull my whip, my grill. Steering wheel in my rear. I ball out with no gals. Fam elevate cloud. I'm trying to knock my team, bruh. Where's my foul? Yeah, me got all I want. Rash me like blue Kool-Aid. Me sip on my lawn. Yeah, me gon' spin the world. And if I got so much left over, spin it on my girl. Roll your switch up. We got anything like confident strawberry dreams in a vending machine. Sweet, hold up, G. She match my team. You know why? Cause I got them G from daddy. To the team, I cut them more, not a line and then I'm excited. Back pocket, they smoke it. My quad heat, narcotic. Hit the bathroom anytime, I carry around my own patty. Hit the bathroom anytime, I carry around my own patty. Roll to me, can't roll, I done fell in love with me, darling. I'm in love, pop patty to my clone, G Galley. Jay hit me up, say she stuck at the airport and miss flight. Go ride me some 4 wheels, so we screwed up my bike. No shame in the game, confidence, we're gon' make Jay on a bigger last name. For serious, yeah. Jay Smiley would drive by, get a phone call, steer. Hot off on them pigs, let's start the pyramid. Whole world know how heel. Candy stone my heel. Park my whip, my crib. Steering wheel in my reel. I ball out with no gals. Fam elevate clouds. I'm trying to knock my team, bruh. Where's my fire? Yeah, me got all I want. Me got all I want. Grass smell like blue Kool-Aid. Me sip on my lawn. Yeah, me gon' spin the world. Me gon' spin the world. And if I got some itch left forward speed on my girl stage, me was on the way focus, but blowing. Spill hot chocolate on me, left me bone, but kept going on. CJ had a couple nail cans for the cat. And she white me down, without me even asking. Tell that chick you way legit. Then me kept on sailing, took over the seat, brought the alphabet, no telling. Finally pulled up to the stage like we cool it on. They say that guy Jade ain't pregnant, we stew it on. Don't snow grown Oreos in my backyard, cows in my fridge, fertilizer for my backyard. Two and John 3 had a movie night 16. Seen Cloud King, bro, took one for the team and changed the whole scene. Me know some trap boy with a trap crib, that fruit pad with a blood down. Book a ad, they done flipped the whole globe on. Whole world know how me heel. Candy stone my heel. Park my whip, my crib. Steering wheel in my reel. I ball out with no gals. Fam elevate clouds. I'm trying to knock my team, bruh. Where's my fire? Yeah, me got all I want. Me got all I want. Grass smell like blue Kool-Aid. Me sip on my lawn. Yeah, me gon' spin the world. Me gon' spin the world. And if I got some itch left over, spin it on my girl. Yeah. Shame and be game. Confidence, we're gon' make J's on the bigger last name. For serious. Yeah. Speak out, stay out, no lie.